Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween. Now, it's a little bit past by now. Maybe you've even already eaten all of your candy, depending on how much you got. I know my sister and I, when we were kids, she'd eat her candy really fast. It would be gone in a few days. And I would keep mine for forever. I'd have like one little piece a day. And then she was always trying to get my candy from me. Actually, there's one time I was so bad about saving my chocolate, I brought a chocolate Easter bunny on our summer vacation. And I'm sort of the same way now. So Halloween comes from, it is the eve before this very special day. So Halloween came from Hallows Eve, because the next day is All Hallows Day. And Hallows was an ancient word that meant holy. So All Hallows Day was the day that the church remembered and celebrated people who had been loving and caring followers of Jesus down through many, many years. And these people were called saints. So we now call this day, November 1st, the day after Halloween, or All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day. Now, there are many people that the church has named as saints through the years. And saints are people that help us see God and how to live as God wants. So we say the light of God's love shines through the saints. And some of these people have very special days of their own that we celebrate, as you're sure you're familiar with, like St. Valentine and St. Patrick. And there are many women saints as well, like St. Clare, and that we're going to be hearing more about today, and St. Hilda and St. Agnes. So we're going to hear the story today of two saints who lived a long time ago in the same village in Italy, the village of Assisi. And I had the honor to go to Assisi once many years ago when I was in high school. And it was my favorite place in Italy that we visited. And I hope to get back there sometime soon. And this is where the saints we're going to be talking about today came from. St. Francis, who was my favorite saint, and shouldn't be a surprise to many of you once you hear more about him, and Clare, St. Clare. Now, Francis didn't start out as a saint. In fact, he wasn't very well liked at all when he was young. His parents were very rich. His father had worked hard selling beautiful cloth, and he wanted Francis to work in the family business. But Francis didn't want to work. Why should he? His father gave him lots of money. He wanted to play and party all the time, and he never seemed to care about anyone else. But then he got sick and he had a long illness. And during that time, he started to think about the way he had been living his life up until then. He realized that God had something important for him to do. So once he was better, he took off his rich clothes, began to help others who were poor or sick. He used some of the money his father had given him to repair some nearby churches that were falling down. Now, Francis had heard about a young woman named Clare who had lived in the same town. When Clare was born, her mother had a dream that Clare would be a wonderful light of God's presence in their town. Although her family was also rich, Clare chose to wear very plain clothes, and with her friends, she spent time in prayer and in helping others. Francis wanted to meet Clare and talk with her. When Francis spoke with Clare, he realized what a peaceful person she was, and she helped him decide to form a group of men who would spend their time praying and helping others. They were called the Little Brothers. Francis also spent a lot of time outdoors, talking with the birds and the animals of the forest, who were also God's special creatures. Clare sold her land and used her money to help others. More and more women came to join her group. Their group was known as the Poor Clares because they lived on very little, giving most of what they received to other people. These two groups, the Little Brothers and the Little Clares, they encouraged each other in following the ways of Jesus and praying and caring for others. So on every October 4th each year, the church celebrates St. Francis Day. And this is often a day that people will bring their pets to church for a special blessing, remembering Francis's great love for all of God's creatures. And August 11th is the day that St. Clare is celebrated. So that is the story of Saint Francis and Saint Clare. Now, as I said, there's many saints, people who have been called saints throughout the years. But think about people of in your life today, people who could be considered followers of Jesus, or are living or showing us God's way. Who are people who have helped other people? People that have lived the way Jesus wanted to live. And maybe this is some people in your family, or maybe it's teachers or ministers, or maybe it's not someone you know. Maybe it's someone else, just a public figure that you know about, that you think is very saintly. So each of us, so the saints, as in the beginning, the saints show God's love to others and let God's love shine through them to others. But this is something we can all do. And we can all live in this saintly way, and do good to others. And especially as we celebrate All Saints' Day. So that is all for today, a short lesson today. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, eat lots of Halloween candy if you haven't finished it yet, and I'll see you next time.